Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson, and this is 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, voluntary camp began today for the Cowboys, and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb was not there and is not expected to join. Lamb is going into the final year of his rookie deal. Is set to make $18 million from his fifth-year option. Speaking of wide receiver contracts, Philadelphia Eagles gave a 3-year, $75 million extension to their former first-round pick, wide receiver Devontae Smith.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pleasure wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thank you for listening, however that may be, whether you're on 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bonds audio player, or if you're watching on our YouTube channel. Easy way to do that, just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star, subscribe, like the video. You can comment along with what's going on, like Fred Records, who says, yo, Pledge. Yo, Bullpen Bandits. That's right. He's in the bullpen already, as is Goldfinger123, munching on a sandwich. My question is, what kind of sandwich? Because that sounds delicious right now, as I am starving at this point in time of the evening. But a lot to get into today, including the San Antonio Spurs finishing on a heater of sorts, winning 4 of their last 6. Cowboys, no CeeDee Lamb. Devontae Smith gets a contract extension, which, what does that mean for the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb? And is it time for them to change their way of going about things? But I want to start with the Masters because it was fantastic theater. Anticlimactic towards the end as Scheffler kind of pulls away from the field on the back 9 at Augusta on the final day. And even though it was tied and there was a multiple way tie at multiple points in time, it never really felt out of hand for Scottie Scheffler. And I'm starting to wonder, and as I say this, I want everybody to pause for a minute and listen to what I say, not what you think I'm inferring. Scottie Scheffler just won his second Masters in 3 years and is the number 1 golfer in the world for umpteen consecutive weeks, years, months. Is he infringing on Tiger territory? And I don't mean that in the sense of he's as good as Tiger Woods. I by no means mean that. What I mean is, if there's a major, is it like it was with Tiger, and are we infringing upon the territory of, is it Scottie Scheffler versus the field at that major? Because it's starting to feel like it more and more. And he is just playing in a league that feels so different from everybody else on the tour or even on the live or anybody that comes over to play. Because even without his A game, it feels like Scottie Scheffler can win a major. And that's something I can only remember Tiger doing back in the day. And I don't remember it before. I don't remember it after. Speaking of Tiger, he made the cut and he made history. It's 24 straight major champion cuts at the Masters for Tiger Woods. That sets the record. 24 straight cuts made at the Masters. He was at 1 over, was in a really good position, just a few, about 7 strokes back going into the weekend. But the wheels started to fall off as he had a career worst 82 and then followed it up with the 77 on the final day. And that sucks. But I was shocked by what happened because going into the back 9 of that Saturday round in which he shot 82 and the wheels were clearly starting to fall off, I expected him to withdraw. Usually, even recently, if you look at it, makes cut, goes into the weekend, has a bad third round, usually withdraws from said round, citing pain, etc., etc. All of the majors that he's done since the car crash. And I remember vividly thinking, man, he's going to withdraw pretty soon. Probably not going to see him on the back 9. But he finished. Career worst 82 at Augusta. And then followed it up with the 77. And I think that's important because even when Tiger was healthy, when he was out of contention, he would withdraw. That's his first full 4-round tournament in a long time, in which it was an official PGA event or a Masters, no carts, nothing like that, and didn't withdraw, didn't do anything. I think this is a precursor for him because he's on board to play all 4 majors this year. And he's been slowly building himself back up. And he looks good, especially early in the tournament. And we know that the Masters is one of the most difficult courses in all of golf to walk. So by finishing that, is he setting himself up to take the next step? And by the next step, I mean competing for 4 days, not falling off into the back end on day 3 or 4 and having things fall apart. I think that he needed to get himself through 4 rounds, which he did. Cool. Goal accomplished. Next goal. Because remember, he is still working his way back from an injury that nearly took his leg from him. His ankle is fused together, his back is fused, and I mean, this is Alex Smith-ish, what happened to his leg. And so I think this is part of a step in a process of Tiger to get back to competing at these majors at a higher level and have his name be near the top of the leaderboard. And you have to make it through 4 rounds and prove it to yourself like anything else. If anybody's gone through any type of rehab or anything like that, you have to prove to yourself something to take the next step. And I think that part of that too is Tiger probably wants to play in the Masters with his son Charlie at some point in time. Kind of like LeBron and Bronny. I think that's very, very important to him at this point. So I think it's good he finished. I think it's a step in the process. And I think that he is working his way back towards being competitive, but he needs to check off markers along the way. Miguel Martinez says it's good he finished. Showed Charlie how not to be a quitter, even if you're off your game. I agree with it. It's a lot to me, and I think Tiger Woods is in a far better place now going into the next major and the one after that and the one after that. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, and on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show. Coming up next, I've got one half of the Morning Huddle in with me as Rob Thompson will be joining me. Good old friend from the morning. We're going to ask him about the hung pheasant, something that came up this morning in conversation. I definitely got to know what's going on there. Plus, talk about the Masters, talk about the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama has now spoken since his exit interviews and what to expect this upcoming offseason. Plus, no CD at voluntary camp. Is that a precursor of things to come for more of this offseason? We'll get into it all with Rob Thompson of the Morning Huddle coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and
Thursday
RJ.
on the Morning Huddle, I got Caitlin Fever. The WNBA draft came and went with a fever carry on, and the play-in begins. It's not playoffs. We're playing in, and we're getting you ready.
Plus, the NFL draft starts next Thursday. What will the Dallas Cowboys do? Because it's the draft, which means they actually have to do something. We have the answers. The Morning Huddle starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It's America's #1 sports fantasy act. 3 million players. Yes, I'm a member. You should be too. Download it now and remember the code Alamo, and you can get a deposit match of up to $100. Basketball is balling, baby. Football is coming. Baseball is swinging. It is time to go to Prize Picks because you put your fantasy knowledge into action. You know more. You know your less. You know who's better or not. You know what's going on. You're a fantasy player. Put that knowledge to work. I have, along with so many others. And right now, remember the code Alamo, and you can get a $100 deposit match right now. Go download Prize Picks. We love watching Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, LeBron James. They are playing go more or less. It's so easy to do, and now's the time to go. You know when it's more, you know when it's less, and when you pair them together, you can win big bucks, up to 100 times your money. More, less, Prize Picks, Alamo. Go there.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. And 61, visit staples.com/print for details.
I love springtime, the sunshine, the longer days, but I don't love stressing about outfits for all of our plans. Between brunches, showers, and spring break, we need looks that keep up and saving that Kohl's comes in. I scored 25% off dresses for myself, and with the 15% off going on, I got my daughter a dress for under $22. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash. So if you want a stress-free spring too, shop at Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Women's dresses, coupons do not apply. Offers end April 21st. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Connecticut water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE Connecticut.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Sadly, statistics show that 1 out of every 3 women in the U.S. will encounter physical abuse from an intimate partner, and violence against children persist. Christie's Hope strives to overcome domestic violence by providing critical financial support to shelters that offer housing, healing, and preventative measures. Thomas J. Henry proudly collaborates with Christie's Hope in the shared mission to end domestic violence and empower victims. Join us in building a legacy of hope. Donate today at christieshope.org.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on X, Instagram, everything at I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. But joining us now via the Buyers Barricades guest line, co-host of the Morning Huddle, Rob Thompson, joining me right now. And the first thing I got to get into, I got to clear up something because I didn't hear this part of the show this morning. And I heard RJ talking during one of the rejoins that we have about a hung pigeon that you had.
No. Hung pheasant. First of all, good to see you. And here you, James. Been a week or so. Missed your birthday. We've been in passing in the booth. So late happy birthday. Certainly glad to be here. Yeah, we were conversing. We were talking about it. It started with the Masters meal. But now we'll have a good old Texas meal again as Scotty is back up there. But, I've always advocated that if you win, man, you need to bring something to the table that people will be talking about. And that had kind of grown from that into different foods that we have eaten that we didn't enjoy. And, I'm kind of a foodie. I would call, my Patronus is a guy named Andrew Zimmern. For those of you who know who I'm talking about, he's the Bizarre Foods guy. He's on, he's got thousands of hours of TV foodie stuff. And I've had the chance to run into him. It's just but he did this show called Bizarre Foods. And I've always been a bit of a foodie and an adventurous eater. And long before Zimmern, it was always kind of like when I would travel, when in Rome, eat what the locals eat.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about things that I've eaten that I enjoyed and didn't like. And the worst thing I've ever eaten was in a little British town called Limpley Stoke. It was called hung pheasant. And I'd had pheasant before. It's a bit of a gamey bird, but it's not awful. And I'd never heard of it this way, so I just ordered it without really asking how it was prepared. But back in the day, when they would shoot the pheasant, one of the ways they would preserve it was letting it, basically rot in a certain way. And they would have to go beyond to this point where all of the bad bacteria was gone. And it became kind of an edible preserved meat. Well, I didn't know this. They brought this out, and it was like rotten. It was like bad, rotten meat. And I took a bite of it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this turned. It's bad." Like, oh no, it's not. That's how it's supposed to taste. Like, no, you don't understand. I think it's gone rotten. So the proprietor of this little pub comes over, and she was not happy that I thought it was rotten. So she took a bite of it, and she's like, "No, this is it." It's like, oh my god! I mean, it was literally rotten food.
I looked it up. Apparently,
and I don't recommend it.
I looked it up. Apparently, hung pheasant, like the way it's prepared, is it literally hangs until the head rots off and the body falls off the head.
Yeah, that's basically it. I didn't know that when I ordered it. That's not a kind of thing you want to put on a side, really. That's
so
kind of
why would you want to make somebody at the Masters eat that?
Well, I don't. Well, all you can do is like today's special, and you just put it up there, and and if they ask, don't tell how it's made because nobody's going to eat it if it's described like this is how we prepare it. See, we shot this thing 3 months ago, and we've been hanging it on a stick in the basement for the last 3 months. It fell off, and now we're going to put some mayonnaise on it and bring it out to you. It'll be. So no, you can't advertise it. So that's the worst thing. The second worst was I'm not proud of it, but guinea pig.
Oh, that's interesting.
But, yeah, that's a Peruvian thing.
I was about to say, was it on a menu somewhere?
It was on a street corner.
Okay, street meat, got it.
Yeah, I caught it and killed it myself. I was hungry.
Rob Thompson of the Morning Huddle joining me here on the Buyers Barricades guest line. We're speaking of the Masters, speaking of their dinner. Scotty Scheffler is your new champion, 11 under, kind of runs away with it on the back nine there and never really felt that much in doubt except for, his wife's labor maybe ruining things. Yeah. Like that was the only real threat that felt or as I was watching the Masters this weekend, and I started wondering to myself, is he infringing on Tiger territory? And I mean, not in sense of like Tiger's dominance and winning literally everything that he ever shows up to play in, but he looks so much far and away better than everybody else that when it comes to the majors, is it like it was with Tiger when it was Tiger against the field, where we're going to start thinking, is it Scotty against the field when it comes to the majors?
It certainly. I'll tell you what, James, it certainly feels like that today. But I will tell you the comparisons, I will say, are just a little bit different. I think the gallery of golfers that Tiger had to separate himself from was a little bit stronger than the group of golfers today. But other than that, I think that he's a cyborg, man. I was telling RJ this morning on the huddle that if he had been a doctor, he'd be a brain surgeon. If he'd have gone into the military, he'd have been the dude that disarmed the bomb. That guy has ice water, and the more difficult the shot looked, the free and easier he played. Just a natural stroke. That going to suffer over the years. You know what I mean? Tiger was always so strong and ripping through and just doing stuff that you're like, man, I don't know how your body's going to hold on to it. But Schlessen's got a smooth groove and an attitude that, it doesn't look like pressure's ever going to bother him. So as we sit today, it's him versus the field, especially in the majors, like you just said.
Yeah, and I equate his swing to that of Jim Furyk, and it seems like it's something only he can do because I watch his feet move, and I'm like, how does he even pull this swing off?
But he's got a niche. Yeah. What'd you think? Did you enjoy the Masters, or was it more of an exhibition of a golf course that was the primary, character in the play, and the players were kind of secondary with Rob just kind of eating the course alive?
I loved the Masters this year, and part of it was Tiger was there for the entire time. I thought halfway through that 82 on Saturday he was going to withdraw, but today
and tell Joe to settle. Somebody tell Joe Ryan to shut up. We watch Tiger till he decides, not me decide.
Exactly.
He's earned that right. He's earned that right.
More hate on Joe's Tiger take, but
yeah,
I'm with you because he's still working his way back from this car accident. And I think
ain't never going to win again.
No, I think part of it, though, is
about that.
Like the steps it takes. He hasn't played 4 rounds. So normally when he has a bad round like that, he withdraws. He just doesn't finish. He's like, I'm going to pack my ball, go home, and I'll get ready for the next one. I think he was making a point to himself that he could finish 4 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But I think we can all admit that all we're ever going to get is a blistering hot day. And that's enough. You know, I can't wait for the next time when on a Thursday, Tiger shoots a 67, 66, you know, blistering hot, can't maintain it. But no talk about retirement, man. These kind of guys come around once in a lifetime. I want him around as long as I can keep him.
Speaking of as long as we can keep him, Victor Wembanyama is a guy that Spurs fans hope that we can keep for a very, very long time. And
pretty good popcorn sales.
The end to the season was far different than anything we witnessed for most of the season. It was enjoyable basketball. They won 4 of 6 on the way out, including 2 straight here over the weekend, including unseating the champion Nuggets and knocking them out of the 1 seed, as Victor Wembanyama was impressive with 34 points, scoring 17 in 3 minutes. Like, he was everything advertised in that Denver game, which ended up being his last game of the year. And I'm wondering what the end of the season kind of has done to your mindset with this strong finish on what's next for this team.
Well, it's like birdieing the 18th, right? Like, you're a brand new golfer, and now I'm going to go buy myself some Pro V1, a case of Pro V1s, and the best pink beryllium I can find, because damn it, I birdied the last hole. I don't know if it altered my perception of the team. You know, there are a bunch of good kids that most of them are going to be gone over the next couple of years, and we have to kind of resign ourselves to that. I'm pretty sure that on the roster today, when we are finally getting free coffee in May and June, there's probably 2 guys, maybe 3, that are going to be here for any length of time. So, you know, we were hearing from that the Hoop Collective, that socialist basketball podcast of Brian Windhorse, that, you know, there was some thought behind the scenes that they needed to kind of fast forward and make their moves. No, the process is in place, whether we like it or not. I think the Spurs, as we sit right now, are perfectly happy if they don't get if they don't get Toronto's high pick. You know, hopefully Toronto get a top 5 pick, and they don't have to worry about it. And they'll deal with everything next year, and they're going to let things kind of fall as they will. We'll replace a couple of free agents, and we'll be in the play-in tournament next year on Wemby's back alone. I think that's what the plan is. I think they're going to work that direction. The summer's going to be busy for Victor and for Jeremy, as they've got the Olympics to prepare themselves for. So they know it's going to be another long year for him. So a lot of load management and another year of improvement. But it's certainly like I said, we hit a birdie on the last hole. We threw a strike on the last frame, and I think everybody will be ready to go buy some season tickets and show up in October to see the Rookie of the Year begin his first run as an All-NBA first teamer, which right now he is.
Well, I'll let you hear this in preparation for tomorrow's show. Wemby was once again asked about if he'll be consulted and the speculations of a big move this year or a trade, or if it's going to happen in 2025. And this is what Wemby had to say.
I mean, will I be consulted, you know, on the extent that I'm a player, you know, and they know what they're doing. But the truth is, I don't know. It's, you know, I'm still learning, but I'm ready to help as much as needed. But of course, you know, staying in my role. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're building something great, and it's definitely something that they've done before. And like, there's many people I can ask for. I mean, here at the Spurs, that I can ask for advice on this and how, you know, how things go. I'm just curious to see.
So that sounds completely contrary to what he told us earlier this season when asked about if he would have input on Spurs' future moves this offseason.
Yeah, I think after that first, he had a small coachable moment with his coach and his immediate group of people. I think what he said was a more appropriate thing. Absolutely, he's going to be consulted, and absolutely, he's going to go to dinner with the next first-round pick. Absolutely, that'll happen. I mean, I can't imagine a scenario. It's kind of like when I look at it kind of like when you're a parent and you're going to have you're thinking about having another kid. You walk over to your 10-year-old, and you're not asking them permission to have another kid. You're just kind of telling them, you know, we're going to have another kid. We're going to act like you have some say, but at the end of the day, that's going to happen.
Would you like
I think they're kind of treating them like that. Yeah, would you like a little brother that's 6'10" or 6'3"? Now that we can fix. But so I do get the sense that it'll kind of be, this is who we're going after. Anybody that the Spurs draft this year will not be of immediate service unless it is a big that's going to give some serviceable minutes. Because yet again, we get lost in the hype of the draft. And can you name another rookie that had any kind of impact this year? Remember Scoot Henderson? Remember the discussion? That guy was a pro-ready point guard that took 60 games to figure out how to tie his shoes. So that was the next best player in the draft last year, and he'd be the number 1 overall pick this year. And that dude took 60 games just to figure it out. So anybody the Spurs bring in and is not even going to be close to where Scoot Henderson was. These guys are going to be coming from Europe if they're drafted 5 or there'll be a rookie a freshman in college. So there's not a lot of aged help coming unless you're looking for a jump shooter that can just come in and do that, or a big man that's there to grab a ball off the rim. So I don't expect a lot of help coming from the draft.
Now, the NBA play-in tournament gets going tomorrow with the Western Conference side of things, and you get a couple of pretty good games when you look at it with the Lakers and the Pelicans. So you get Zion versus LeBron and Anthony Davis. And then in the nightcap, you get the Kings and Warriors. And the biggest debate I've heard today, which I'm starting to wonder, like, I know you win to get in if you can win to get in. But should the Lakers maybe think about not winning their first game?
Man, that's bad karma. Did you see who was it that danced around a game? Was it the Pacers? It was the Pacers that tanked the game to affect their seeding. I've always looked at that as, the strategery is one thing, and I appreciate it, but that's bad karma to me. I think you anger the sporting gods when you kind of manipulate anything other than the draft.
I only bring it up
play a lesser opponent
because
to me just sounds.
The Lakers have lost 8 straight to the Nuggets, and they're at least 7-3 against the Thunder in their last 10. So, you would think they would have a better shot against Oklahoma City than the team that swept them out of the playoffs last year in the first place. But they also haven't had much success against even prior to that.
What strikes me as funny is when they were planning on putting this play-in tournament together, do you think they ever envisioned, at least in the near future, that it would involve LeBron and Steph Curry? Like when they were putting this thing together, they're trying to find a way to grow the playoffs. And you go, if it all works out well, maybe Steph and LeBron will play in a play-in game. I mean, it's kind of worked out. But I think it's bad karma for them to go that route. And the Lakers weren't tanking; they're just that bad.
No,
I do think they were. You know what I mean? I think they were hiding a few things, but. Yeah, it's going to be good to get Steph and LeBron out of the way early. And I think that's probably what's going to happen.
And lastly, Cowboys start their voluntary camps today. No CD Lamb present. And not that we expected it, but what bothers me about everything is the fact that later in the day, we got the news that Devontae Smith gets a 3-year, $75 million extension, 25 per year. He was drafted the year after CD Lamb. So once again, the Eagles see ahead of the curve of the earth, get a deal done, and that is just, there's no question in anybody's mind CD Lamb is better than Devontae Smith, and 25 a year for Devontae Smith. The sooner you pay him, the better that contract's going to look.
Yeah, cheers to Kasari and the crew, man. Howie Roseman, excuse me. I think that he continues to prove that he is, if not the best GM in the NFL, he is certainly the best with the numbers. The Eagles consistently do the right thing and get their guys early. And if you want to hear the other side of that coin, listen to RJ Ochoa. In the morning, he will consistently point out that the Cowboys just do it ass backwards. Did the contract with the Eagles affect CD's money? No, they weren't waiting to see what Smith was going to get to affect But what it did prove is, yet again, the Cowboys are behind the 8 ball. And the longer they wait, they're going to have to pay CD more and more. And there's some other dominoes that are going to fall that will affect how much they're going to have to pay CD. And I don't know if this will be the first and what will be a series. I'm not sure the timing is right. So, yeah, they're going to pay through the nose. The fact that he's not at workouts is kind of like people, kind of talking about not showing up to Planet Fitness. I don't care whether he's there, the week workouts. I'd like to hear from the dudes as they show up and begin the next. But this, to me, doesn't matter, and it's certainly expected. But yet again, here we sit, Cowboys doing absolutely nothing. Now, my question to you, James, is this is the first time in my memory that the Cowboys have been as quiet as they have been for as long as they have been.
Agreed.
It was 2 weeks ago we were talking about Zeke. Would it be outrageous to think that maybe there's something cooking, that maybe there's they're staying quiet because they know that they've got a lot of leaks in that boat, so they're just keeping things close to the vest because something's coming? Or am I just a dreamer of a Cowboy fan?
Dreamer of a Cowboy fan. What I think is going to happen is, yes, the whether it's Dalvin Cook or Zeke Elliott or whoever, they're going to plug some of those holes after the draft. But it's after the draft, and those are going to be more Eric Kendrick-like deals, to which, good player back in the day, probably got something left, but they're getting him at the lowest possible price point of someone just looking for a job at that point.
Yeah, you get that sense. Oh, well, a Cowboy fan can dream. We're going to win the Super Bowl next year,
Well, I've heard.
Yeah.
Just not yet. I imagine closer to training camp, I'll start to hear those chants.
Well, my idea of what winning a Super Bowl is probably very different from what your idea of winning a Super Bowl.
That is Rob Thompson. Catch him and RJ Ochoa every morning on the Morning Huddle from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Rob, thanks for your time this afternoon, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. I'm going to go have some pheasant. Have a good night.
It's Rob Thompson joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. They provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. You can catch them online at buyersbarricades.com. More on the Cowboys' lack of urgency and whether it's time for them to change their philosophy coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1.
And Johnny, here's Tiger Woods putting on the 16th for birdie.
In the hole! In the hole! Get in the hole! Yeah, in the hole!
Each year, thousands of gallery fans are diagnosed with golf baller screamophobia.
They feel if they do not scream at the ball, it will not go in the hole.
Get in the hole!
Soon, the urge to scream at a golf ball affects your home life.
Honey, want some more coffee?
Yeah, just put it in the cup there. That's it. Yeah, in the cup! In the cup! Oh, yeah! In the cup! Shut up!
Even getting gas.
Hey, buddy, fill her up regular?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, put it in the tank.
Put it in the tank! Put it in the tank!
Send all your money to the Golf Ball Screamophobia Center.
And we'll put that money safely
In the bank! Put it in the bank!
Hey, shut up!
Oh.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
90 Proof Bar and Grill is the ultimate spot to catch a game and satisfy your cravings. Kitchen's open till midnight every day, serving up delicious bites to fuel your hunger. Plus daily drink specials. Make every night a winning night at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
With Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,000 off select laundry appliances from top brands like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances. And with convenient shopping in-store and online, you can get new appliances with smart, intuitive features any way you want. Like a new LG Wash Combo all-in-one that can run a full load in under 2 hours. Right now, get $1,000 off select laundry appliances with Spring Black Friday savings in-store and online at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hi, everybody. Scott Innes here. For 25 years, I've been voicing lovable cartoon dogs like Scooby-Doo, Astro. Hey, I love puppies and dogs. And now I get to help pets that need a voice to save their lives. That's where the Puppy Food Bank comes in. The Puppy Food Bank helps pet rescue organizations so they can feed puppies. For just $11 a month, you can save a pet's life. Go to puppyfoodbank.org now and donate, and they'll send you a nice gift. Puppy Food Bank is proudly supported by Thomas J. Henry.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items like the self-leveling green laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect pass-through socket set for $49.98, which you can only find at Lowe's. Shop Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9. That's 6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. You can call into the show, 210-656-3776. That's 210-656-ESPN. If you want to be a part of the conversation. Dallas Cowboys showing less and less of a lack of urgency in getting anything done. CeeDee Lamb not at camp. No, that's not a big deal. I think the bigger deal is the fact that Devontae Smith, a guy drafted the year after CeeDee, gets his 3-year, $75 million deal, $25 a year, before next season. That was massive. If the Cowboys should possibly have gotten a CeeDee Lamb deal earlier, you might have only been looking at 25 a year when he was the number 2 option. But he has this season this year that breaks every single Cowboys record. Now you're going to pay through the nose for it, whether it's this year, next year, any year you do it. It's just now when you choose to do it, the price elevates, because if Justin Jefferson gets his deal done first, or if Jamar Chase gets his deal done first, or to a lesser extent, Brandon Ayuk and T. Higgins. Because if they truly hit the open market, you could argue they could go for over 25, 27, 28. What's that going to do to CD? He's better than both of them. You're automatically looking at 30 out the bat right there anyway. So the quicker you pay him, the better that deal looks for the future. And now you've got Micah Parsons, who you're also going to have to pay, openly campaigning to do other things that would only get him paid more. This was John Bones Fossil, the special teams coach, talking about on the Ross Tucker podcast, Micah Parsons lobbying to return kicks.
Oh, you know Micah. So he has lobbied me in the past to just be the primary kickoff returner. I'm like, Micah, that's a question. You got to go a little further up than me on that one. But would I love to see him back there? Absolutely. Because he would be fantastic. He would catch it, he'd run wild, and he'd probably get incredible yards. But that ain't going to happen. I'm aware of that.
On the Ross Tucker podcast, John Bones Fossil talking about Micah Parsons campaigning openly to return kicks to do more for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys have a history of doing things like this. They did it with DeMarcus Lawrence and others, and it worked initially in those instances, but contracts have gotten to a point where it is better and more beneficial for a team to do things earlier. He did this with Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick extensions as soon as they were eligible after their third year. Boom, ink, new contract, blah, blah, blah. Zach Martin got it done after his fourth season, signed an extension. Now it seems like wait, like DeMarcus Lawrence, franchise, pay maximum value. And that seems contradictory to the point of getting these contracts done, because they are going up. Like this year, the salary cap exploded more than anybody thought it was going to explode. And there was more money available to them because of this. And so more people got paid more money. That's going to happen and continue to happen, as football is this entity that continues to pull in ratings and money and wealth. And now they're going to Brazil, which is only going to expand their footprint to kick off the season this year on Friday when the Eagles take the field. This isn't going to be less. It's going, the top of the market contracts are going to be more. Now, lower end contracts will remain at a respectable level, but your elite guys are getting the top 1% of the money in this league. And then you fill out with rookie contracts and guys on back ends of rosters, and that's what you do. And you try and find diamonds in the rough. Will the Cowboys be able to adjust this mindset of how they get contracts done? Or is this on the players actively knowing the longer they wait, the more they get if they were a top of market player? And that might be the saving grace for Jerry Jones and this Cowboys organization, is knowing, hey, we're trying to get these deals done. The players don't want to, because they know on the back end in their final year, they're going to get everything they want, and they are betting on themselves. And there's really nothing we can do about that. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to put a bow on the show coming up and hear a little bit more from Victor Wembanyama and what he had to say about his final exit interview. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For the 24th pick the Dallas Cowboys select
April 25th, 26th, and 27th. Join 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft. Live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
selected.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most if you've been injured. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. And now try Babbel for free by texting radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. And a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
He's a former coach with 2 sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right. That's real important. The golf game. Right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on social media at I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. You can always be a part of the show. It's really easy to do. You can get us on X or Insta at SA Sports Star. You can call in at 210-656-3776. Or if you're watching on YouTube, at SA Sports Star on YouTube, you can just go ahead and throw a comment into the comment section down there and get it up on screen. And we will discuss all about what you had to say. Like Drew Show, who happens to say the problem for the Spurs is that the majority of the fans in the media are conditioned Cowboys fans. They have that pie in the sky attitude. Look, I don't think Spurs fans are conditioned around winning, and this franchise did a lot of it for a long time. And Greg Popovich was part of the head of that snake, along with Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. You had all the players leave, including Kawhi Leonard, and you were left with just the coach. Now you're trying to restock the cupboard with the talent on the floor, and we'll see how that goes. They're in the process of that right now. Victor Wembanyama, don't know how much of a part of that process he's going to be, but he does feel like next year should be completely different in terms of expectations than what this year turned out to be.
Now that it's more clear, of course, I don't want next season to stop so early. You know, I want to keep going and go to the. I mean, I would want to win every game, of course, but go to the playoffs and just there's so many details and so many things, so many little things to do right away. You know, from the first game of the season that we're not gonna build something great by saying we want to win the championship or really go to the playoffs. It's set a new brick every day, and then we'll build the house.
Set a new brick every day and then build the house. And listen, when you're playing basketball, I don't want you talking about bricks. Personal opinion, bad connotation, bricks. I understand the metaphor that you're going for. It works. I just prefer not to use any metaphor involving bricks in the NBA. But he also talked about things that surprised him. He said his conditioning surprised him, and the biggest takeaway that he had from the season was how the Stars performed night in and night out.
It's not like really something. It's more like an attitude from that I see with with maybe the top 10 biggest players or best scorers, for example, in the league, and it's the way they hear every single night. There's players that even if you check the box scores, they almost never had a bad night whole season. I'm thinking like guys like Embiid, Jokic, Giannis. It's just they're here every night, and it's doing it twice. It's not enough. They're doing this for every game.
Jeff McClanahan on our YouTube live feed says Spurs fans expect to win, Cowboy fans hope to win. That's the difference in the two fan bases. And you're right. And at this point, the Spurs fans need more expectations of winning, because it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be fool's gold at the end of the year, winning 4 of 6 in the.
This is SportsCenter. From Jim Basketball, Caitlin Clark, the record-breaking face of women's college basketball, selected number 1 overall by the Indiana Fever tonight. WNBA draft. She enters the league as the 2-time National Player of the Year, finishing her college career as the highest scorer ever in college basketball, men or women. But Tim Legler says it's the other aspect of her game that will shine early.
Her passing is what's going to guarantee her success. Everybody on that court is going to be better because she's playing, and she's going to be throwing the ball in every case to someone who can finish the play. So that's why Caitlin Clark immediately is going to make her team better. The scoring might take a little longer to catch up.
Second pick went to the LA Sparks. They take Cameron Brink out of Stanford. Camila Cardoso of the champs, South Carolina, goes to the Chicago Sky at 3rd overall. WNBA draft ongoing on ESPN. Jackie Robinson's life and legacy honored today in Major League Baseball. Players wearing his number 42 throughout the bigs to commemorate the lasting impact of Robinson's Major League debut, April 15th, 1947. On the field, Will Brennan, a pinch hit 2-run home run the 7th. Guardians go to 8-2 on the road, taking the Red Sox 6-0 in the annual Patriots Day game. Meantime, Yankee broadcaster John Sterling announcing his immediate retirement at the age of 85. This few weeks into his 34th season in New York's broadcast booth. On the field,